We're checking out the new 2021 Mathews V3 in the 31 inch. Welcome back to Mike's Archery's YouTube, and we are here checking out the new 2021 lineup from Mathews, looking at their new V3 in the 31 inch model. Now the specs on this bow are coming in at 342 feet per second. Obviously the axle to axle at 31 inches. Spec weight anyway from Mathews is showing at 4.5 pounds. Now we like to throw it on the scale and see what reality is, and we got it coming in at 4.8 pounds out of the box. We did take their new dampening system off the front of the riser and got it down to 4.6. So relatively close to what factory spec is supposed to be by taking out the harmonic dampener on the front of the riser. Now the redesigned cams that Mathews did for this year with the CROSSCENTRIC cam, and has got the switch weight built into it, has some special features that you don't usually see. The draw length option is going to allow you on the 31 to go all the way from the bottom at 26 inches out to 30.5. So giving you a little longer draw length option with the longer riser than you get on the shorter 27 inch model. Now with that switch weight technology that they put into this cam, it is going to allow you to take this bow and adjust it without changing your limb bolts. You can change the weight, the draw length, as well as the let off on this cam by swapping out modules. Now there's some good and bad in that, and you can go every 5 pounds all the way from 60 all the way out to 75 at every 5 pound increments by changing out the modules. Now what we do like about it is it's a little different than anybody else on the market, where they're changing the limb weight by changing deflection on the limbs, and then you adjust that from, moving your limb pockets out with your limb bolts. This is going to allow you to shoot at the top end of that cam as far as weight. If you want it to be 65 pounds, you can bottom this out and change out that mod. Now the bad news is, from a consumer standpoint and even a shop standpoint, it's not a simple sliding, rotating mod like most of the other manufacturers are using. It is a draw-specific module, and it is a weight-specific module. So you're going to need to visit your shop to be able to change those things out. If you want to change the peak weight from 5 pound increments from 65 to 70, then you're going to need to stop into your shop. They're going to need to swap out that module and change it out for you. Same thing with let off or draw length. So if you get home and you feel like, you could use another ½ inch of draw length one way or the other just to make it more comfortable for you, it's not something you can simply do from home. You're going to need to make a trip back to your shop, have them swap out that mod. Hopefully if you've bought the bow from that dealer, there's no cost in that, but there is a time factor and just an adjustability factor that is a little bit more of a pain than some of the other manufacturers has made it to make those simple adjustments on your bow. The brace height on this bow is coming in at 6 inches, which is pretty much spot on with what we see from most of the manufacturers and basically the industry norm anymore for where you're going to see brace height. One of the things that Mathews redesigned, they did an extended bridge riser for this year, and it is the longest riser that they have had in comparison to axle-axle ratio, and that is giving them a better platform that they feel is a little more stable and a more vibration free. With that came redesigned limbs and limb pockets, and obviously that extreme beyond parallel look and those limbs curling in completely at full draw. That had to be redesigned for that new riser. Now we don't see that it changed the width or the stance of the bow any. Now with that new riser, they did a lot of machining and cutting out to lighten up this riser going forward, and Mathews has traditionally been one of the heavier bows out there on the market. They have certainly taken the time to try to lighten that up a little bit more with this new design. Now they did add the new Nano 740 harmonic dampener up front, and Mathews has been famous for their harmonic dampeners from day one, and they have moved that around on the riser throughout the years to try to give better performance, take out more vibration, better balance, and they feel that they have put that in the perfect spot on this riser to take out the most vibration and also give it better balance and feel out of this bow. The other thing they did is they did the new Engage grips, and that new Engage grip system has got a nice textured feel to it, nice slim line, and it also sits more centered in the riser and giving it just a more stable feel in the hand. From there, one of the other things that we noticed that they changed for this year was their roller guard. And they have obviously in the past had that sticking straight out of the riser. They have angled that down now this year, and that did a couple of things. One, it centered that cable roller system more centered in the bow, which allows for more exact timing and tuning when you're setting up this bow and tuning it in. It's going to allow you to get better tuning options out of this bow, as well as making it easier to tune. The other thing it did is it gave you more fletching clearance with it being directly in line with the rest, and that allowed them to just offset those cables more in line rather than higher above it where it has been in the past. Since they gave you better fletching clearance with that roller guard, they kept that integrated rest mounting system with the dovetail on the back of the riser that they have had for the last couple of years. With that integrated rest system, it definitely gives a stable platform for the rest to mount on, that you don't have to worry about it moving with them only having a single rest bolt hole, and it also centers it more on the grip as well. One of the other features that Mathews put into this bow this year is a new optimized stabilizer hole in front and back, and it is a locking stabilizer hole. Then you say, what can they change about a stabilizer hole? It's just a threaded hole in the riser, but they have mounted it in there, giving a 10% stiffer connection to the riser, which is going to help take more vibration out of the shot and allow a better platform front and back when you attach your stabilizers to it, just giving it a better overall feel with that setup. The other thing that they have, and they've had it for a couple years, is that silent connect system that mounts between the limbs here. And that is something that you can add on if you're hunting out of a tree stand and need to be able to pull this bow up or let it down out of your tree stand. It just gives you a nice place to silently connect your pull-up rope, that you don't have to wrap it through the cams or around the limbs or riser somewhere making extra noise, and even possibly scarring up something on your bow. It just gives you a nice contact point to get your equipment in and out of the tree. Now, they did offer this bow in 8 different colors. It comes in 3 solid color options as well as 5 camo options, giving you a total customizable option as far as look and feel of this bow if you want to deck it out the way that you see fit. Price point on the new 31 V3 is coming in at $11.99, which is right there with all the other flagship bows that we're seeing on the market at $1,200. We are going to step outside now and shoot this bow over the chronograph, kind of let you know how it shoots and the performance that it gives off, as well as the sound with the decibel meter. As always, we will be shooting this bow with a 400 grain arrow at 29-inch draw length with 85% let off on 70 pounds. We've stepped outside and we've got the Mathews V3 in the 31-inch option, and we are going to take a shot over the chronograph and give you an idea of the specs and the performance out of this bow and how it feels, as well as the noise ratings on it. As always, we are shooting our 400 grain arrow, keeping that consistent. We are shooting this bow on 70 pounds at 29-inch draw and 85% let off. And that'll just kind of give you an idea of the baseline of where we're getting these numbers. So let's take a shot and see what we get. So 300 feet a second. Even though it's rated the same as the 27, we are seeing it coming in a little bit slower than the 27-inch. And that could be expected. That little shorter axle to axle will definitely probably pick up some speed there. But they're rated the same at 342, I believe. And but this was coming in right around 300 as we've consistently shot it. Really good speeds. I mean, for this model bow and where it's at, that speed is pretty consistent toward the top end of where we've seen a lot of bows shooting, but overall right there where it should be. Now, as far as the noise rating, we're getting 96.8 on the decibel meter, and that is probably the quietest bow we have shot. Now, we have, since we started throwing that into the videos and testing that on an actual rating, most bows that we have shot have fell in that 98 to 100 range. Most of them are around 99 or so. And it's noticeable. When you shoot the Mathews, it is noticeably quieter than the other bows that we have shot. And it's showing up on the meter just the same, you know, at 96 decibels or almost 97. And frankly, it's a very quiet bow. So we give Mathews a shout out on that. It is most certainly probably one of the quietest bows on the market now. As far as the draw cycle on the 31, it is not as bad as the 27. You know, if you were looking at that bow or watching that review, we did not like it, but the 31's got a pretty decent draw cycle. It is certainly not the best feeling, smoothest draw cycle that we've had out there, but it's not terrible either. So I would put it somewhere in the middle there, just, you know, a nice, decent feel, but there are definitely smoother, better draw curves out there on bows this year than the 31 V3. But still, like I said, right there in the middle and decent. Now from there, the grip feels good. That new grip that they put in there sits well in the hand, feels good. And as always, Mathews is dead in the hand. It is absolutely one of the deadest bows we shoot. Really don't feel anything when this bow goes off, and I think that also translates into the noise that you're hearing. So whatever they've done as far as balance and vibration dampening, it is certainly working, and part of that is, I believe, the design here on the front, but they don't even have limb dampeners or anything in it, and it is very dead in the hand, very quiet when we shoot these stripped down bows. So that part of it, we certainly give Mathews a great rating on that. From there, a little disclaimer, we do not sell Mathews here at Mike's Archery. So if you are looking for a Mathews, be sure and call your local dealer and they can get you hooked up. And we do want to give a special thank you to Eddie up at Real Deal in West Virginia. He allowed us to take a couple of the Mathews bows out of his stock and bring them down here and shoot them, just to give a honest rating on them of what we thought against everybody else's bows. So if you're looking for a new Mathews, be sure and contact your local dealer.